Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all my Swordsman of Landstar Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for October 2020. Now, I really do feel like we need some more support for the Swordsman of Landstar deck. We got so many different cards in the anime series that Joey Wheeler used to support this, little warrior, Swordsman of Landstar. And here in the TCG, we only have 2 cards, and it's been at least 10 years since we've had any new Swordsman of Landstar. Those of you that don't know, this was a, warrior monster used by Joey Wheeler in many different ways. In the beginning, he used it to have it, be powered up by Skull Dice, Graceful Dice. He had different versions of the Swordsman of Landstar throughout the original series. And I feel if we do a deck profile for a Swordsman of Landstar, it will help us to maybe eventually, shed some light on this card and get some actual support released for this amazing monster here. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the monsters, going off of the fact that it is our boss monster in the deck, we are running 3 Swordsmen of Landstar, having 500 attack and 1200 defense. It's more of a defensive card, but we're going to use it mostly to rely on the fact that we do run a pretty strong warrior lineup in the deck. So being able to use Swordsmen of Landstar for extra deck resources will be our main go-to play with this card. Sadly, it doesn't have any monster effects, so we'll have to rely on just its 500 attack to do damage to our opponent when we summon this card out. But being a level 3 normal monster, we do have plenty of ways to summon it out from the deck or hand to the field and then make use of it from there. If you wanted to run a good number of equip spells like we are doing in this deck as well, not just for the assault play, but just for different ways to equip onto the Swordsman of Landstar, that can be your best way to power up this card as well. And then, I spoke before, we have 2 copies of Swordsman of Landstar released currently, the other one being Comrade Swordsman of Landstar. Being a warrior tuner monster, this card also gives us the option to synchro summon using the Swordsman of Landstar lineup. And all warrior monsters you control gain 400 attack. So if we have the Comrade Swordsman of Landstar and the Swordsman of Landstar on the field, that power boost will, count not just for our Comrade Swordsman of Landstar, but also for our original Swordsman of Landstar, putting both of them at 900 attack and giving us the option for level 6 synchros if you have both of these monsters on the field, and also, if you wish, an Xyz summon, being able to overlay the 2. Very versatile together, being able to use them both for these different options. But like I said, we need more support. If we want this to be a fully fledged deck that doesn't just revolve around these 2 monsters being our main go-to warriors that we'll summon out on the field, we need at least 3 or 4 other Swordsman of Landstar monsters that can focus on summoning these cards out. But you definitely do want to run the maximum number of both in the deck, so you always have the best chance to open up these cards, especially with Comrade Swordsman of Landstar. Swordsman of Landstar can be easily special summoned from the deck with Comrade Swordsman. Either we'll summon it with a soul by getting out 2 other warrior monsters, or we just have to rely on drawing it. For some of the other warrior support to help assist with the playstyle in the deck, I also run the 3 Marauding Captain. Your opponent can't target face-up warrior monsters for attacks except for this one, and when this card is normal summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. So being able to protect our Swordsman of Landstar while it's on the field by using Marauding Captain as the scapegoat means that we can wait to build this card's power up while we have this card act as more of the defensive play, or even just be able to swarm out multiple monsters from our hand and even special summon, Comrade Swordsman of Landstar onto the field and have the synchro play right then and there as well. Since there's no limitations to what we can special summon out with Comrade Swordsman of Landstar, Marauding Captain is a big help in the deck for sure. We're more special summoning options for the assault play. I also run the 3 Junk Forward alone. The Comrade Swordsman of Landstar and Swordsman of Landstar are not strong enough to, swarm the field. We need extra warrior support as well, but don't forget the main point of the deck is all about Swordsman of Landstar. But Junk Forward is just an extra boost since our normal summon will have to go to Swordsman of Landstar. The special summon can be taken over by Junk Forward on the field. And I also run the 3 Rescue Rabbit. This is just another easy special summon of our Swordsman of Landstar, giving us 2 copies from the deck using Rescue Rabbit. And you'll definitely want to use it as a resource for an extra deck summon, so it doesn't get banished by Rescue Rabbit's effect. And then you can make use of it in the graveyard by having plenty of other spell and trap card options, which we are running in the deck, to special summon Swordsman of Landstar back onto the field as well to use. But you definitely want 3 of this. It's just an awesome way to get access to the deck. Sadly, it won't search out Comrade Swordsman Swordsman of Landstar, but the main part of the deck is Swordsman of Landstar. Comrade Swordsman of Landstar is more just a backup to your main boss monster. And then lastly, for the warrior support, we wanted a few more extra targets to use with Rescue Rabbit. So I run the 3 Queen's Knight. If you wanted to solely focus on the level 3 monsters, there are plenty of other, warrior monsters, including M Warrior 1 and M Warrior 2. But Queen's Knight gives us option for rank 4 plays, being a normal monster. And also, if you have the Comrade Swordsman of Landstar on the field, level 7 plays. But it all comes down to player preference on what you want this last normal monster spot to be in the deck. Just make sure it is a warrior monster, so you have the consistency with the rest of the deck for the summons you want to do with the extra deck, including Isolde being your main link monster to go into. And also, just to stop some of our opponent's plays in the deck, I run the 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, just being the best hand trap aside from Effect Veiler for backup options when stopping your opponent and their plays. The Search Power especially, the Swordsman of Landstar can handle any of the monsters on the field, so you don't really need, Effect Veiler to stop those monsters. You can rely solely on this card to take out pretty much mostly all of your opponent's monsters, so let Ash Blossom handle the deck search that they might try to do, and Swordsman of Landstar can handle pretty much anything else on the field. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 Unexpected Die. Now, this is just the best way to special summon out your ace monster in the deck, being Swordsman of Landstar. So being able to special summon it out onto the field and not take up your normal summon means that if you use your Unexpected Die to summon out your Swordsman of Landstar, you can summon Rescue Rabbit and then banish Rescue Rabbit to get you your 2 Swordsman of Landstar onto the field that easily, giving it so then you can use them for an extra deck play, whether it's an Xyz or link summon, and have your Swordsman of Landstar on the field ready to go as well. I'll show an even bigger combo using these cards at the end of the video for the setup, so you can have both Swordsman of Landstar and Comrade Swordsman of Landstar. But for the equip spells, I run the 1 Smoke Grenade of the Thief, the 1 Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, the 1 Power of the Guardians, the 1 DDR Different Dimension Reincarnation, and the 1 Moon Mirror Shield. All these different equip spells are just great for Isolde to send off to the graveyard to use to special summon out a warrior monster from the deck, most of the time one of our Swordsman of Landstar options, obviously, but then giving you the power boost you need once you get those 2 monsters out is your main go-to play in the deck. So having all these different ones, even if you open some of them up, they make it that much better. Equipping Power of the Guardians or Moon Mirror Shield to your Swordsman of Landstar will pretty much make this card invincible, making it so your opponent cannot take it down, no matter what they may try to do. So you want to run at least one of each of the different options so you can send them off with Isolde as well. For some of the other one-of counts that we do for these spells in the deck, I have the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, just clearing that back row. If you can attack your opponent directly with Swordsman of Landstar, that might be the best play you can make in this deck, hitting them for that 500 or 900 points of damage, depending on how many Comrade Swordsman of Landstar you have in the deck. So clearing the back row with Harpy Feather Duster is a big help for sure. 1 Call by the Grave, more help with taking out cards in the graveyard. I don't think, Swordsman of Landstar is ever going to be destroyed, so you can just focus on Call by the Grave, taking care of the graveyard, while Swordsman of Landstar will destroy all the monsters and your opponent's life points on the field. And I also run the 1 Reinforcements of the Army for the go-to warrior search for your Swordsman of Landstar in the deck, and also the 1 Monster Reborn for special summoning Swordsman of Landstar back onto the field from the basically the graveyard as well for those special summon plays, or even being able to take some of your opponent's resources makes it all the better for your setup and search. And lastly, the 1 Instant Fusion will help to set up your play for the extra deck if you need that 1 extra resource monster from the extra deck to summon out to assist with your Swordsman of Landstar on the field as well. And that is it for the spells. We'll now move on to the traps. I run 3 back to the front. Now with this, it's our go-to trap to special summon back our Swordsman of Landstar onto the field. Now, just remember that the Comrade Swordsman of Landstar only summons out your monster with the attack boost. So if you do summon this card in defense mode, you won't have any of the boosts to the defense. It will be all for attack, but more of a defensive play on your opponent's turn. So you can make sure you have your monster set up for your play. And also the same with Swordsman of Landstar, more of a defensive play, and then they can basically try to swing over this card, and then you can just switch it to attack mode during your turn also. If you want to go for more of the offense offensive play with your cards, you can play the 3 Call of the Haunted, summoning your Swordsman of Landstar in attack position onto the field, making it that much better as well for your go-to offensive play. But more resources also if you summon your Rescue Rabbit and then summon out your 2 Swordsman of Landstar. For the resource play, you'll be able to set your Call of the Haunted, activating this card, and then summoning your Swordsman of Landstar back onto the field to swing into your opponent after your Link monster is set up also. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. Now, for your go-to monsters here, I didn't have the Carbonella Warrior basically set up, so I'm grabbing the extra deck monsters. As you see, with this card, you'll want to run one of your go-to warrior monsters for the instant fusion target, being your Dragoness, the Wicked Knight. As long as you have the search for this card, you can have your rank 3 setup plays ready to go with all of your different monsters in the deck to rely on for your setup. For the Xyz plays, I run the 1 number 47, Nightmare Shark, and the 1 Leviair, the Sea Dragon, with both of these being your best go-to plays for the rank 3 monsters. Being able to easily summon out your Dragoness, the Wicked Knight, being a warrior monster also can be used for your assault play if need be, so remember that as well. And lastly, the 1 number 41, Baguska, is basically set up for the rank 4 play preference because I do run the Queen's Knight, and also Rescue Rabbit being a level 4 if you do need those overlay options with all of these monsters together in the deck. But for the Link monsters, I run the 2 Link Spider. Now this is a really good go-to easy setup for special summoning out Swordsman of Landstar from our hand onto the field, but also just for, if you need the effect monsters for some of the other ones we special summon from the extra deck, it's definitely a good setup card to rely on for those monsters. And we do run a pretty good number of normal monsters altogether as well. But our main go-to one is Isolde, 2 Tales of the Noble Knights, with this being your main monster to special summon out your Swordsman of Landstar. Using our equip spells we run in the deck, I'll show the basic combo to set up Comrade and Swordsman of Landstar all in one play at the end of the video as well, so definitely stay tuned for that. But as for the other Link monsters, I run the 1 Mrs. Radiant and the 1 Asa the Earth Charmer Immovable. Now, a good number of our monsters, aside from Ash Blossom and also Queen's Knight, which if you want to go for the, I believe the M Warrior 1 and M Warrior 2 are Earth monsters, which will just make it all the better for our setup. But also the Earth Charmer just needs 1 Earth monster, so you can even just use Queen's Knight with this card and also set it up for that play, or rely on the Link summon of Mrs. Radiant to power up Swordsman of Landstar even more when we have Comrade Swordsman of Landstar on the field also. For some of the other monsters, I run the 1 Nightmare Cerberus, the 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and the 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Basically, we run the Link Spiders so that we can have the effect monsters to special summon out for our plays, or just different name monsters with the Swordsman of Landstar. If we have 2 on the field, we can link into 1 Link Spider, having the 2 to then go into our Nightmare support as well on the field. And once again, Comrade Swordsman of Landstar is a tuner monster. So we're running the Synchro lineup. I run the 1 Vulcan the Divine. This can even bounce Swordsman of Landstar back to our hand to use again, and bounce some of our opponent's cards for the plays, also with cards like Bryonic. And I run the 1 Black Rose Dragon. Once again, level 4 monsters mixing in with the level 3 monsters we're running for the tuner setup. Can basically go for the play right then and there for the Synchro setup. But as for the actual plays to rely on, my favorite being one of my favorite warrior plays in the deck as well, being you summoning out using the Unexpected Die. You will then summon out your main go-to boss monster here, which is the Swordsman of Landstar. And then when you summon this card out, you still have your normal summon to rely on also. So you'll normal summon your Rescue Rabbit onto the field, and then use the Rescue Rabbit by banishing this card to summon out from your deck. As soon as I find them, they're hiding in my main deck as well. The 2 Swordsman of Landstar, this card does not want to be found. It is just that much of a journeying warrior card in the field. And I think I lost my sword. Up there he is, mixed in with the extra deck. So you'll get the 2 Swordsman of Landstar on the field. You'll link summon the 2 into your Isolde, 2 Tales of the Noble Knight. And the one thing you'll want to make sure, as long as you don't have 3 of your equip spells from your deck into your hand, you'll be able to send 3 different name ones to the graveyard to special summon out using Isolde, which you can use Isolde to even also search out another warrior monster from your deck. But then you'll special summon out to the field your comrade Swordsman of Landstar, which along with being to boost up Isolde to 2000 attack, will also boost up your already Swordsman of Landstar you have on the field from the unexpected die, getting both on the field to attack into your opponent, and then after the battle phase, you'll be able to either overlay the two together, or synchro play, or just keep them on the field for that much stronger of a Swordsman of Landstar boost backup. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, I really hope we one day may get some support for the Swordsman of Landstar. If they ever do decide to give us like maybe a Joey Wheeler deck, then I could see that happening for sure. As more support, we've gotten the Blue Flame Swordsman. We've got a bunch of other cards that Joey used. Roulette Spider. I think it's only a matter of time until we get the Swordsman of Landstar as well. But once again, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.